Hey guys, welcome back to doremicom channel. This is the doremicom and WarmongerGamesDay review of the Hordes Primal Mark 2 rule set. Privateer Press did a fantastic job with this book. Absolutely gorgeous artwork and photos. I'm going to go ahead and break this down to its parts into fluff, rule set, as well as specific armies and extra bonuses. That's all contained in this book. So if we flip over to their drawing of Immoren, those of you who saw my earlier video regarding the western continent of Immoren and how that impacts War Machine, basically the fluff as it's written just details how the Hordes and War Machine worlds kind of combine. Everything from the Scorn Empire, how it resides on Immoren, to even, for instance, Legion of Everblight, which happens to tie nicely to the Crix Empire and War Machine. The dragon that the Crix Empire worships had dragon spawn, and one of those dragons was actually Everblight, which ended up getting imprisoned up in northern Kador by the Circle Orboros. So basically everything is tied together nicely, and it joins together the very fantasy aspect of Hordes with kind of a modern industrial age / fantasy of War Machine, and they do it very cleanly, even in the fluff. But if we go ahead and flip the page and we start looking at core rule books, those of you who own the War Machine rule books will find that there is a lot of similarity here. The only difference, of course, or the biggest difference between War Machine and Hordes is in War Machine you have focus, and in Hordes you have fury, and how those are allocated both to, in Hordes your War Beast, or in War Machine your War Jack, it's very different. But that, understanding the concepts between fury and focus really is the big difference between the two games. As we continue to move through, I guess there's one other thing. This circle represents basically the same thing as the War Jack damage chart, and it impacts the spirit, mind, and body of the War Beast. And as each one of these are injured, then the War Beast can do fewer things. More of the details about that will come out when we're doing actually a Hordes rules review. This is just the book itself. So nice set of rules, but then we also move over to the actual specific army information. And as you can kind of look, this is the fluff and the rules. This is the army book, so more than 50% of the book is kind of dedicated to providing enough information both in story and in the actual models of the base for each army faction. We're going to go ahead and flip forward to Legion of Everblight, which happens to be the army that we will be bringing into the doremicom channel. If you guys saw the Hordes horse race. And again, just fantastic art done for this particular book. Characters are broken down into their various stats that read very similar to War Machine, as well as spells for the Warlocks, very similar to the Warcasters in War Machine. The similarities here as far as making the rule system really work between the two seems outstanding. I can't wait to actually do some play testing and find out whether or not there is true balance between War Machine and Hordes. We'll be doing that on this channel on a future date. So, towards the end you get this little section of examples of how miniatures have been painted by some very talented painters. And they provide you with the tips of how to actually paint them at the end of the book. So, how to prep your model, tools that you'll need, how to do different effects like the troll skin, whether or not it's going to end up requiring washing, dry brushing, layering, all sorts of steps. The photos are in here so that you can kind of follow along, and if you're interested in learning how to do some of these things, you can determine exactly how close you're getting to what they're suggesting. How to do some simple terrain, and then you get back to your index, which for the most part is pretty good. So I know that was kind of a rough cut on the Primal Mark II set, but I'm really dying to get into the actual rules system itself and get some games out there so you guys can take a look. Again, fantastic edition. I think Privateer Press really did some service to its players with this particular book. Alright, that's it from doremicom channel and WarmongerGamesDay. Hope you guys are having a good one. Later.